Milling through history presents. The Crossroads of History. There are many notable dates in history. However, there are only a handful of days which seem to draw historical events to them. Whether by chance or design, these specific dates seem to create crossroads for human civilization which greatly affects how we perceive the world and how we live in it. One of the dates which has proven over the last 400 years to be exceptionally important is November 5th. Let us look at the moments which have defined this day as a crossroad in history. 1605. Guy Fawkes attempts to kill King James I during the opening session of Parliament by blowing the building up. His plot is discovered, and his subsequent capture and execution is still celebrated to this day. 1688. William of Orange begins the Glorious Revolution by leading his forces into Brixham to overthrow King James II and re-establish the Protestant faith in England. 1757. Frederick III of Prussia defeated an allied army of the Holy Roman Empire and France at the Battle of Rossbach. This stunning victory brought financial aid from Great Britain to Prussia while forcing France to cut off funding to its European coalition allies. 1768. The Treaty of Fort Stanwix was signed. This treaty created a boundary meant to prevent westward expansion of English colonists from the coast over the Appalachian Mountains. 1811. José Matías Delgado rings the bells of La Merced Church in San Salvador, igniting revolts and beginning the 1811 independence movement in El Salvador. 1872. Susan B. Anthony breaks the law in Rochester, New York, by voting for the first time. She would be arrested and later fined $100 for this action. 1881. John Bryce will lead 1,600 armed volunteers in New Zealand to forcibly remove Maori natives from their home as part of the New Zealand land confiscations. 1912. Woodrow Wilson is elected President of the United States. He would lead the nation in progressive reforms and attempt to bring those same ideas into the Treaty of Versailles in 1919. 1914. England and France declare war on the Ottoman Empire, expanding the scope of the war already beginning in Western Europe into a more global conflict. 1917. Vladimir Lenin calls for the October Revolution, which leads to the fall of the Romanov dynasty. 1940. Franklin Roosevelt becomes the first man to be elected to a third term as President of the United States. 1968. Richard Nixon pulls off the political comeback of a lifetime as he successfully gets elected President of the United States in one of the most violent and dramatic election cycles ever seen in the United States. 2006. Saddam Hussein is found guilty and sentenced to death for his part in the 1982 massacre of 148 Shia Muslims. His execution would be televised up to the moment of his hanging. 2009. Nidal Hasan goes on a mass shooting spree at Fort Hood, killing 13 and wounding 32 more. This moment frightens many Americans into questioning the extent of Muslim influence into creating sleeper terrorist cells in the United States. 2024. Donald Trump and Kamala Harris face off in an election described as battle for the soul of the United States. The winner of this election will undoubtedly define the course of the United States for years to come. If you enjoyed this episode, please consider clicking on the left-hand side of the screen to subscribe to our show. Be sure to click on the right-hand side to see our latest episode. We look forward to seeing you again for the next episode of Milling Through History.